Alright, so first off, what's up? It's your boy Hip Hop Gamer. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to my man Nicholas. He is a virtual reality developer in the game industry, and I'm blessed and honored to have him on the Hip Hop Gamer Show. This is overwhelming right there, man. How you feel today, man? What's up?
Yeah, good hip hop, man. I'm good. Yeah. Really excited to chat to you. It's always good to speak to people about VR and how exciting it is. And yeah, man, no, it's good.
Alright, so first question, man. You know, what was your thoughts when Facebook announced the $2 billion buyout with Oculus? Like, what was the first thing that came to your mind? How did you feel as a developer, as a gamer, and for the forward movement of VR, man?
Yeah, man. I mean, at the time when it happened, it was such a, like, it just sort of came out of nowhere, and it was so big. Like Facebook as well. You don't think of them as being a games company or having anything to do with hardware. It was a bit like Google started off search engines, and then they bought Android, and it just seems quite a big move. But then, you know, as soon as you kind of get over that, it's sort of, they're a massive company. $2 billion is a lot of money. It's not all money. I mean, 400 million is the money they've actually got to use. Yeah. The rest of it's shares, but it's still a lot of money. And as soon as I thought that, I thought, well, you know, I want to make stuff. I want to do stuff that people are going to see. And what better way for people to see it than to have a great big company like Facebook investing into the area and all of that. And I saw a lot of people where, you know, they sort of got a bit freaked out by it. And some people got a bit upset about it. I just thought, seems a bit short-sighted, seems a bit stupid. Well, not stupid. I understand it, but it seemed like a good thing. And if it wasn't Facebook, it was going to be some other great big company. Yes,
somebody would have brought into it anyway. I believe so. And the thing is, I did an interview when I was at PAX East in Boston with Palmer, and Palmer's my good friend, man. This dude literally gave me the shirt off his back, man. You know what I'm saying? Literally, like, so that's my man. And when we were speaking, one of the things that he said was that a year from now, all the negativity that we're going through right now will definitely be flipped around when they see what we come up with. So that leads me to my next question, man. Like, being a developer and, you know, virtual reality and seeing this move made by the Oculus, we also got PlayStation Morpheus that's been announced as well. So you being a developer, you now have two like serious platforms that's trying to really, you know, break in this industry of gaming. And it's not ahead of its time like how the Virtual Boy was. You know what I'm saying? The time is now. You know what I'm saying? So, what's some of your thoughts from a game developer standpoint that you already have in mind? You know, with what you want to do with the Oculus or the PlayStation Morpheus or both?
Yeah, man. I mean, the Morpheus is a different kind of thing, I guess. It's very similar, but they're targeting PlayStation. They're targeting people that have got consoles, and that's a different market. But that's good, because that means different markets are going to get a chance to get involved in VR. You know, not everyone, with the Oculus, with the Rift, you want to have a really powerful computer to make the most of it. Yeah. And I think the sort of experiences that most people are going to make are going to be better on those powerful computers. In a few years' time, it's going to be fine, because everyone's computers will be that powerful anyway. Right, it won't be a problem. But for now, it's kind of, and next year when these sorts of things sort of land, people are going to be able to get a PlayStation pretty cheaply, and they're going to be able to get a Morpheus pretty, you know, whatever price that comes. It's probably not going to be much more expensive than a Rift. I think that's great. That's really accessible. And the thing is, they don't compete. They're completely different. You can't really compete on the same market because they're different markets. Yeah. So it builds the platform, it builds interest in VR in general. Because at the moment, VR is such a tiny little world, and the experiences are just little demos. Yeah. There's no full games out yet. There's lots of, you know, it needs to, the whole platform of VR needs to build, and it's kind of the possibilities for what VR can be and what it can do. They're not even, you know, scrape the surface yet, you know? It's so many places it can go. There's other companies, you know, there's GameFace who are making their Android headset. There's other Android headsets being built. And that's great. great as well because you won't then need a PlayStation, you won't then need a PC. You'll just have your Android headset.
That's crazy.
At the moment, it's still, they're not quite powerful. I mean, just because of the nature of mobile technology, it's not quite there yet to catch up with PlayStation. But you know, the way the speed phones go, the speed power of the chips go, you're going to get in a few years' time a mobile chip that's as good as a PlayStation 3 easily.
Wow.
PlayStation 4, that's going to be, you know,
That's amazing, man. So, do you have any, like, do you have a dev kit of the Oculus right now?
Yeah, man. Yeah, here you go.
Or he got the dev kit right now, son. All right. So the thing is,
this is my work desk, so man, he sort of sits next to me, waiting to go.
So, is there anything that you could tell us now that you guys is working on, or any ideas you can share with the fans of what you're working on right now in the development stages?
Yeah, I mean, I'm working on I did the Spirited Away boiler room scene, so it's the scene from the Japanese cartoon Spirited Away.
What? Oh my God! It's crazy. No, I'm gonna go see it after this talk, though.
It's crazy, see it, man. But it's kind of, it took me about 6-7 weeks to make, and that's great. That's a nice quick turnaround, so I can make a good experience, a little demo, and then once I made that, I've now moved on to My Neighbor Totoro, which is another Japanese anime film, which is one of it's this classic Japanese cartoon. It's you know, in Japan as Disney are everywhere else.
Yeah.
So it's this classic film, and I really wanted. I think it's one of those things. People in VR, they're going to want to play those racing games. They're going to want to play those space sims. They're going to want to travel to far off places, but they're also going to want to visit their favourite films, and they're also going to want to experience you know, the stuff they've enjoyed from a different perspective. So I thought that was quite a good way to get into things. So I'm making that one now. After I've done that, I might go and make another couple of cartoon into VR experiences.
Wow!
You're taking something that's flat and 2D and you're turning it into like a 3D world. I quite enjoy that. That's something nice about it.
Wow. Now, let me ask you a question. Because of what you just said, do you think that we will ever see, like maybe in 5 to 10 years, do you think we'll ever see networks like the Cartoon Network having a virtual reality channel? So, like, when you turn to that channel, they'll instruct you, just like if you're about to look at something in 3D and they tell you to put your glasses on before they show you the view. What if there's a way where you're watching regular cable TV or something and they adopt VR signals for certain TV shows, and then when it comes on, they tell you to put your VR helmet on and you go watch VR, something like that. Do you see that actually happening?
I don't think it's going to be so. I mean, they might do something like that. I think it's going to be a bit more like if you've got SpongeBob.
Yes, yes.
If you're watching the cartoon, you can then go off and you can go play a SpongeBob app on your phone, or a SpongeBob game, or a SpongeBob website, or all the other SpongeBob things. I think there'll probably be, you know, a SpongeBob VR experience. There'll probably be, you know, VR experiences for all those sort of TV shows or cartoons or anything you like that might work for VR experience.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do it. But I think TV is so like linear and so kind of enclosed and kind of it's naturally limited in what it is. It's half an hour long, whatever it is. You sit and you watch it.
Yeah.
I think the possibilities of VR, like the stuff TV does really well.
Yeah.
You're not gonna want to watch, you know, you're not gonna turn Game of Thrones into directly into a VR experience. It's gonna be something completely different. But and I think tying it so closely into like something like a TV show, that's probably gonna limit what you can do in the VR.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But I think the possibility, I think it's gonna have great possibilities for connecting with other people. So as now you can go into Halo, or you can go into Call of Duty, or you can go into all these different games, Minecraft, and play with other people. I think you're going to have VR spaces where people are all going to join in and all join together, and that's going to, you know, it's going to be like when you get with computer games, but just being in there, just just provides a different enough experience. I think it's going to open up a whole new range of possibilities and experiences.
Now let me ask you this, right? Now, with Microsoft's Kinect and stuff like that, I know that it hasn't been the most well-received product from the 360 and even the Xbox One. You know, there's occasional times where it works really good for certain games, but for the most part, like 80% of the time, it's not what they wanted it to be in terms of the presence in the industry and amongst gamers. Do you feel that, like, virtual reality combined with that Kinect censorship and doing those things with your hands, do you think that there's a possibility where that'll make Kinect much more appealing if they could use that alongside VR? Or do you think Kinect is just a lost cause and Microsoft should shift their focus?
Nah, man, I think Kinect was trying to do something, which is to put you in the game, but it was doing the stuff that makes so much sense in VR. So
oh wow, that's interesting. That's an interesting way to put it.
You put your VR headset on, and then you kind of move around with your body, and the Kinect could sense you, and then you can see your arms moving around. The problem with Kinect is it's just not quite good enough. It's the way, it's just that little bit inaccurate, and the latency, the lag between what you're doing and what's going on the screen is not quick enough for VR. It needs to be a lot quicker.
Gotcha.
So then you get things like the guys Prio VR who are making actual like suit. The actual And that's perfect because that's going to have the latency, the delay between your movement, what's happening, to work in VR really well. I think the Kinect could probably get there. Kind of device to add on to something.
Okay.
But I think the problem was it was just I think it's probably ahead of its time for what it was trying to do.
Wow.
The technology. It's a bit like VR back in the 90s, where you had VR helmets, VR experiences, but the technology was not there to do what it needed to do. And for VR, it is now. With stuff like the Kinect. I don't know, maybe it won't be that much longer for something like Kinect to be exactly what it needs to be, but it kind of needs to be paired with VR or AR or something else to make the most of it, because currently waving your hands around in front of a screen and sort of seeing something come back, it's just not, there's a bit of a disconnect there. I mean, there's no contact, there's no buttons to press, so if you've got a sword in Kinect, it's basically stuck to your hand, but with a real sword, you move it around, and you get different
feels,
angles. It's like with the move is good for that, for instance, and that's why with the Morpheus, they've already got a motion controller that's perfect. It works really well for what they want.
Wow, that's gonna be crazy. That's gonna be so crazy.
The Move is a really good controller, and it's that sort of device that VR needs on some level to be able to get the most out of the experience at the moment. I mean, with like a gamepad, that's pretty good, because when you've got the visor on and you can't see anything, a mouse and a keyboard, you're not gonna. I mean, with a keyboard you can't see where your hand is. What buttons you're pressing. It's not good. With this, it's good because you can see where the buttons are. You can feel where the buttons are. You don't have to look. But it's still not quite right because you can't. It doesn't know where your hands are in real life. They're all kind of stuck together. You want to be able to have your hands in there.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? And you want to be able to press buttons rather than just mash them with your fists. See, the controllers need to get there. They're not quite there yet. I think Oculus, they've said they're working on something. And I think that's great. You need something. I don't think anything. Prio might be great. Prio might do it. And STEM is looking good. Those are the most.
I remember STEM.
Like the Hydra. They're pretty good. So they might do it. They might be the ones. But then the other problem is walking and getting around, because in real life, you use your legs and you walk around. If you want to go off to the left or off to the right, you just walk there. You don't think about it. You just do it. And if you want to turn, you just use your feet and you turn. You don't think about it. It's just, you do it. With VR at the moment, if you're using a controller and you point to the right with your stick, you're using your thumb. And it's like, in real life, you don't direct yourself with your thumb.
What, yeah.
Which direction you want to go in. It's not natural. And the same with the mouse. You know, the mouse is so precise and quick. You don't move your body like that. Yeah. And it's a bit unnatural, you know. It's not right. So we need something, because even with STEM, like, there's still no feet controls. There's a controller called Stomps, which a guy's working on, where you tap your feet. And that gives you forward locomotion. I don't know about sidestepping and going backwards and stuff.
Wow, it's so much, man. It's just a lot going on, man. That's what excites me, though. That's what I love about technology. That's the exciting part. It's limitless, and your creativity can really run wild. You know what I'm saying? In the world of gaming and now VR, I think it's amazing. Now, I didn't ask you this, and I want you to explain to the fans out there. But what's your background? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, how did you get started? What attracted you to VR and stuff like that? And what's one of your favorite games that like you loved growing up that you would like to apply VR to?
Yeah, man, that's a great question, man. I come from a video background, so video and animation and some 3D stuff.
Okay.
2012. It's still not released. But it was a short sci-fi film with like a CG robot in it and stuff like that. And at the time, I thought, you know what, I want to get into film. I want to make films. I want to be a storyteller and do that. And I made this film. It took basically from start to finish a couple of years, and I was really, really happy with it at the end. But then the process of getting that out to people, you either release it onto the internet, in which case, you know, however many thousand people watch it, and that's that, and then you make another one, or you try and maybe send them on to get some kind of video on demand or something like that. But in general, I just kind of felt that spending that amount of time on something and then having just a few thousand people watch it, and it didn't fit. There was something unsatisfying about about that. I wanted, and so when Unity, I checked out Unity, the game.
Yeah.
And I thought, and it was sort of, there was a free version, and I thought, well, I'll just play with that, that's fine, I'll just see how that goes. And then when Oculus came around and did their Kickstarter and stuff, I was kind of like, well, hell, I got to get one of these anyway. So I got it, and then when I got it, I realised how easy it would be then to start development. So I just did, I just started making some stuff and just seeing what happened, and in the end I made that Spirited Away demo. But yeah, coming from a video background, I guess it's mainly storytelling that sort of interested me. I wanted to get into making a world that told a story. So I guess that feeds back into when I was a kid. I used to love RPG games, Baldur's Gate and stuff.
Baldur's Gate, wow.
And King's Quest and things like that, man. So and I loved other games like Doom. I love Doom and pretty much anything, man. But I think adventure games and stuff. There's stuff like Walking Dead now and The Wolf Among Us.
I love those games. The storytelling in those games are genius. Yo, real talk, honestly, it's currently right now for me personally, Telltale Games is definitely a top 5 developer because playing those games, it's the way they draw my heart into the character and the feel of it. Is you can't explain it, you have to experience it. It leaves me speechless, man.
I think that's what's great about them, because they take a really old, they're basically these point and click adventure games from you know, back in the 80s, 90s, and they've updated them, and they've now got a good formula that's just the right side of storytelling and interaction. Plays that balance really nicely. And I think there's a really good space for that in VR, and not the same, because you can't really do cutscenes in the same way. And you as a character, I mean, in Wolf Among Us, you play Big Wolf. You can't be Big Wolf and then have him speaking for you, because it doesn't really work. You want to be that character. So, and in VR, having the environment telling you the story is really powerful as well. So rather than, you know, you walk into a room and there's characters happening and then a fight happens. You know, you walk into a room and you see like maybe the room's been destroyed because someone's had a fight, and then you can go around that room and you can look at everything and you can figure things out.
Wow.
So I think there's a lot of power in those sort of experiences, that kind of adventure game. And still with dialogue, you can still have characters and stuff, and that can be really powerful as well, where you can walk up to a character. Because something in VR that's really powerful is eye contact.
You know what? I'm sorry to cut you off. You know what I think would be great, just by listening to what you like. You got me extra excited now, because now, like, imagine if you walked into a room and there's something for you to like, the same thing that the main character would say when you're sitting at home watching the game. If you're in VR, they give it to you to say. So it's like, what if you walk in a room and there's certain, like a script or a dialogue for you to read, and when you read it, it's like you hear your voice, but you actually hear your voice within the game. So you really, really are this character, and you play the role of the dialogue. So when you speak, it's your voice, and it's almost as if others is looking into you. Oh my God, this is